Let me ask you something. What if I told you that the $40,000 you borrowed for college could actually cost you over $100,000? And what if I told you that millions of Americans are making one simple mistake that's keeping them in debt for decades longer than they need to be? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the student loan system in America. No complicated jargon, no judgment, just the raw truth about how these loans actually work, why so many people are drowning in debt, and most importantly, what you can do about it. Whether you're about to take out your first loan, you're already buried in payments, or you're just trying to understand what your kids are getting into, this video is for you. Stick around until the end because I'm going to show you the exact strategy that could save you thousands of dollars and years of stress. Let's start with some numbers that are honestly pretty scary. Americans owe over $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. That's trillion with a T. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of countries like Canada, Russia, or South Korea. About 45 million people in the US have student loans. That means roughly 1 in every 5 adults is carrying this burden. But here's the thing that really gets me. The average borrower takes out about $30,000 to $40,000, but many end up paying back double that amount or more. How does that happen? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. Now, I'm not here to tell you that college is a scam or that you shouldn't pursue higher education. Education can be incredibly valuable, but what I am saying is that you need to go into this with your eyes wide open. The system isn't designed to be your enemy, but it's also not designed to hold your hand and explain everything. That's what I'm here for today. Okay, let's start with the basics. What is a student loan really? At its core, a student loan is money you borrow to pay for education expenses, tuition, room and board, books, all that stuff. But unlike a scholarship or grant, this money isn't free. You have to pay it back, with interest. Now, there are two main types of student loans, and understanding the difference is crucial. First, you have federal loans. These come from the US government. They're generally the better option because they usually have lower interest rates, more flexible repayment plans, and certain protections if you run into financial trouble. Federal loans include direct subsidized loans, where the government actually pays the interest while you're in school, and direct unsubsidized loans, where interest starts building up immediately. There's also PLUS loans which parents can take out for their kids, but those have higher interest rates. Then you have private loans. These come from banks, credit unions, or other private lenders. Here's the deal with private loans. They often have higher interest rates, less flexible repayment options, and almost none of the protections that federal loans offer. Think of it this way. Federal loans are like borrowing from a friend who says, "Hey, take your time paying me back, and if things get tough, we'll work something out." Private loans are more like borrowing from a business that says, "You owe us this much on this date, no exceptions." So, rule number 1, always max out your federal loan options before even considering private loans. Now, let's talk about the part that trips up almost everyone, interest. Interest is basically the cost of borrowing money. It's how lenders make their profit. And when it comes to student loans, interest can be absolutely brutal. Let me break this down with a simple example. Let's say you borrow $30,000 at 6% interest with a standard 10-year repayment plan. Your monthly payment would be about $371. Over those 10 years, you'd pay back a total of $44,500. That's $9,500 in interest alone, almost 30% more than you originally borrowed. And if you stretch that out to 20 or 25 years, you could easily pay back double what you borrowed. This is why understanding interest is so important. It's not just some small fee. It can be the difference between manageable debt and a financial nightmare that follows you for decades. All right, now let's get into the mistakes, because knowing how loans work is one thing, but avoiding these common traps is what will actually save you. Mistake number 1, borrowing more than you need. This is probably the most common mistake. People take out the maximum loan amount offered to them, even if they don't need it all. Listen, that extra $5,000 might seem nice for living expenses or even a spring break trip, but every dollar you borrow is a dollar plus interest that you'll be paying back for years. Only borrow what you absolutely need for tuition and essential living expenses. Your future self will thank you. Mistake number 2, ignoring loans while you're in school. For unsubsidized federal loans and private loans, interest starts accumulating the day the money is dispersed, not after you graduate, not after you get a job, immediately. If you can afford to make even small interest-only payments while you're in school, do it. It can save you thousands over the life of the loan. Mistake number 3, not understanding your repayment options. Federal loans come with multiple repayment plans: standard, graduated, extended, and various income-dependent repayment plans. Each one has different monthly payments, timelines, and total costs. The plan you're automatically put into might not be the best one for your situation. Take the time to understand your options. It could literally save you tens of thousands of dollars. Mistake number 4, missing payments or defaulting. Missing student loan payments is a big deal, like really big. Your credit score will take a massive hit. You could face wage garnishment, meaning money is taken directly from your paycheck. Your tax refunds could be seized, and the government can even take a portion of your Social Security benefits when you're older. Student loans are one of the few debts that are almost impossible to discharge in bankruptcy. They will follow you forever. Mistake number 5, not exploring forgiveness programs. There are legitimate loan forgiveness programs out there: public service loan forgiveness, teacher loan forgiveness, and various state-specific programs. If you're working in public service, education, healthcare, or certain other fields, you might qualify to have some or all of your loans forgiven after a certain number of payments. Don't leave money on the table. Research these programs and see if you qualify. Okay, enough with the scary stuff. Let's talk solutions. Here's what you can actually do. If you're about to take out loans, first, fill out the FAFSA. That's the free application for federal student aid. Do this even if you don't think you'll qualify for anything. You might be surprised. Second, accept all the federal aid you can before even looking at private loans. Federal loans almost always have better terms. Third, consider the total cost of your degree, not just 1 year. Multiply that annual cost by 4, add in interest, and ask yourself, is this degree worth that total amount? Fourth, look for scholarships and grants like it's your job. Every dollar you don't have to borrow is a dollar you don't have to pay back with interest. If you already have loans, first, know exactly what you owe. Log into your loan servicer's website and get the full picture: total balance, interest rates, monthly payments, everything. Second, consider refinancing if you have high-interest private loans, but be careful. Refinancing federal loans into private loans means losing all those federal protections. Third, look into income-dependent repayment plans if you're struggling. These cap your monthly payments at a percentage of your income and can make payments much more manageable. Fourth, if you can afford to pay extra, do it. Even an extra $50 or $100 per month can shave years off your repayment and save you thousands in interest. And here's a pro tip: when you pay extra, tell your servicer to apply it to your principal balance, not future payments. This makes a huge difference in how much interest you'll pay over time. Look, student loans are complicated. The system isn't always fair, and yeah, it can feel overwhelming, but knowledge is power. The more you understand about how these loans work, the better equipped you are to make smart decisions and take control of your financial future. You don't have to be a finance expert. You just need to be informed, proactive, and willing to ask questions. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more straight-talking financial advice. Drop a comment below. Are you dealing with student loans right now? What questions do you still have? I read every single comment, and I'll do my best to help. And if you know someone who's about to start college or is struggling with their loans, share this video with them. It might be exactly what they need to hear. Thanks for watching, and remember, you've got this. See you in the next one.